Okay, so now we do have to understand basics of biological anthropology. So the first two chapter was really basic. In the first chapter, we have understood what is the real meaning of anthropology, how it is helping us to be more human, and then basics of social cultural anthropology. We have understood that how the common physical understanding which we are having with respect to society, culture, and you can say about institutions, religion, how it works. Okay. Now, with respect to your exams, with respect to our exam for UPSC Civil Services, what I will say that for social cultural part, we are not going to get a lot of help if we are going to study from class 11 for social cultural anthropology because UPSC is asking critical question, more deeper question, and it is not factual, and a lot of information is not there. For instance, if you want to understand how institution of marriage is working, or if you want to know what is how marriage is universal and how there is variation, we need to read a lot of other supplementary books. Okay, but with basics of biological anthropology. With this, even your basics will help. Okay, why? Can anyone guess? Because we are getting 10 markers. Generally, we are getting 10 markers. And moreover, it's facts. Facts is not going to be changed, right? And it is going to be really simple for all of us. Now, what is the doubt? What is the doubt generally? Aspirants coming from, just a moment, uh, very important call from my daughter's school, I believe. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to tell here is that with basics, as I have said, that it is going to help us. Why? Because it's factual. And the third point which I was making that generally aspirants are thinking that they are not from science background, so they are going to have certain difficulties in learning it. However, the kind of biology in anthropology we have to deal with, it is up to 10. अगर थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स टॉपिक हो भी गया so it is up to like 11th and 12th, that is going to be the part of your civil services bio ka part already, science and technology ka part already. Okay, so you're not going to get hardcore biological concepts, but yes, it is factual. So bio part and archaeological part, you may think that it's boring, okay, because it is related to facts. Yes, it is not that interesting if we'll compare it with social cultural part. Because in social cultural part, it is more like stories. Here it's facts. But for our exams point of view, this biological and archaeological is like savior for us because you need to study it once, whether you understood the concepts or not, even you will make your answers and you will be able to get good marks. If you have, for instance, if you have got a question mitosis, meiosis, and you may not have complete clarity of its phases, but if you have make 150 words ka answer with diagrams and you write it with little definitely anthropological insights, you will get marks. So right now, when I'm teaching biological part, biological anthropology, I am teaching with respect to traditional biological anthropology. But when I would be starting your advanced, then I would be reflecting little on these concepts, but more on anthropological insights. For example, mitosis, meiosis, it is happening into cells, right? During cell division it is happening, but with mitosis and meiosis, I can explain that how this two phenomena is very responsible for us to understand the concrete reality of human evolution, right? And how it is responsible for variation. You need to write in anthropological sense, then only you will achieve good marks. But to write anthropology, you need to have a basics clear. Okay. For example, I would be teaching you a lot of case studies, how to write anthropological answer with biological, but वो सब बिल्कुल later होगा. तो इसीलिए जब हम मैं एडवांस लेवल पे मैं आपको पढ़ाऊंगी तो मैं मॉडल आंसर्स लिखवाती हुई चलूंगी हर टॉपिक के. Okay. So please focus here differently. The way we have discussed topic 1 and topic 2, it will not be same here because it is very basics and facts based, right? Now, is this clear now? Okay, and you people have to make very sincere notes. जहां जहां I would be literally teaching कि ये quote ये लिखना है वो आपके notes में आना चाहिए. Now, biological anthropology or relevance of biological anthropology, what it is. So it is just not helping us to understand how we have evolved. Okay, it is also have lot of relevance even in our day-to-day life. For example, DNA profiling technology. Okay, so we do have DNA profiling technology. And it is helping us to have paternity disputes, solutions, remedies, right? So we know that how understanding of biological anthropology is helping us definitely with respect to our day-to-day life ke issues. Now, we already know about relevance of biological anthropology, but we know in anthropology when we are dealing with this DNA part, so it is like we should be knowing about the basic structure of cell, which I would be like explaining you later on. Let me just give you a overview. Okay, now we are very much interested in knowing what humans diversity. So diversity is something which we have understood in topic 1, if you remember, that we do need to appreciate diversity. Okay, so let me put into from the beginning for all of you that even when I am discussing biological part, my insight has to be anthropology. I am not here going to explain the details that what is, I mean, I would be, but right now I just want to make your base with anthropological sense. So, in topic 1 and then topic 2 have explained us that what is the major issue with humans. So, when we are understanding human species ka world, we are related our every understanding with respect to humans, and we are saying that humans are unique, isn't it? So when I am saying that humans are unique, I am saying with respect to bio and social, right? Now this bio and social is explaining us that we are having diversity. Now diversity which is coming out of biological and from social, it is challenging for human coexistence, right? If we are putting into our negative sense, ethnocentrism, so biologically I look different, so this difference is there in bio, and also sociologically, like the way I am eating food. So this difference is by default humans do not appreciate. This is basic human nature. Appreciate differences. Humans do not basically appreciate differences. Why? Because our brain is always is always showing tendencies to show negative or strong emotions if we do not have any structured pattern of that senses. It can be anything, whether like sound or we are touching, eating, anything. So humans always, our brain is always rejecting new information. Okay? So whensoever you would find any living organism whom you have not seen before, you will have fear. What it is, you are going to explore it. So the reason is that the pattern of our brain or the lobes of our brain right now is not structured to appreciate diversity. So now to appreciate diversity, we require skills. Is this now clear? So I'm just making a story to all of you, that why we have this phobia. Just to understand, if we are finding anything different, we have phobia kind of emotions. So if you find somebody eating lizards, for them might be it's food. For you, it is like what it is. You know, there are some, I would say, social groups living in this world who are eating dogs, okay, who are eating snakes. But for us, we are not comfortable. Okay, so it is just like that. Now, when we are dealing with biological anthropology, so as I am very much interested in knowing the differences, so after 1.4, which I would be explaining, we know that it is DNA. Okay, it is deoxynucleic acid, which is responsible for having these differences. I look different because I have different DNA from my parents. Okay, only identical twins share, you know, 100%, then they do look like same, but in fact their personality is different. So we have to understand in this manner. So DNA is some is a concept, or it's a phenomena which we are going to understand deeply. Okay, now how it is helping us, as I have told you about the paternity disputes. Okay, so when you would open this book, you would see the very first page is only talking and helping us to know that how this information is DNA information, or this biological information helping us to know our world better. Okay, so definitely it would be really interesting for all of us to have proper explanation about this biological variations. Okay, so in biological anthropology, what we are dealing with, so we are dealing with biological variations, and I would be super slow with biological anthropology. So I may can take 2-3 classes. So you could see that social cultural anthropology, I think I have finished in one class and I have taken a little bit more of second part. But biological, मैं बहुत slow हो जाऊंगी. Okay, so we are interested in this biological variation, and what is the factor which is responsible for this? Hereditary factors and also environment. So biological variation which we are having, it is affected by वेरिएशन ऑफ ह्यूमंस. मैं बायोलॉजिकल वेरिएशन किसकी बात कर रही हूँ? ह्यूमंस की. ठीक है, याद रखना. तो बायोलॉजिकल वेरिएशन ऑफ ह्यूमंस is affected by two components, two factors, and what is that? Hereditary and environment. Do write down that. Okay, can anyone tell me about hereditary? What is hereditary? How you will explain hereditary to me? Which we are getting from our parents. ठीक है, hereditary and environment. If you'll keep on living in some environment for a longer period of time, you will have physiological changes. Okay, that we are going to discuss in ecological anthropology. But right now, you just have to see that environment also plays a significant role in variation. That is why we do have in human genetics, we do have a debate called nurture or nature. So it is nurturing and also like it's nature, environment, like the biological environment. So it is also saying in modern synthetic theory, we know that environment also plays an important role. Okay. Now, along with biological variation, what are we interested in? Biological origin and evolution. Biological origin and evolution. So here we are going to basically have discussion with respect to concepts. Here, okay? तो यहाँ पे जितने भी कॉन्सेप्ट है इस पे हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा कंसर्न रहेंगे. ओके. People can write down one definition for biological anthropology. Write down biological anthropology, which is also known as physical or new physical anthropology. Biological anthropology, जो कि which is also known as physical or non like this new physical anthropology, deals with the study of biological origin, evolution and variation of human beings. Okay. Now, in which point of view I'm going to discuss this biological origin, evolution and variation of human being? Past, present and future. And that is, you just write down somewhere. So past, present and future of human life. Okay, write down. Past, present and future of human life from a biological point of view. So past, present and future, past, present and future from a biological point of view. And also I'm going to reflect specifically on biological adaptations of our ancestors and also currently which whatsoever we are doing. Biological adaptation of different human population who were living in the past and also in today's time. Okay. So how we are doing this? In a very systematic manner. Okay. Now you people have to make a little flow chart. So how in biological anthropology, the way we have economic anthropology and social cultural anthropology, you know, in social cultural anthropology, in my last classes, I have explained clarity hai na. So first of all, I have explained that what is culture, what is society, and in culture, what are the concepts like enculturation, acculturation, ethnocentrism, cultural relativism, social stratification. Then I explained marriage, family, kinship. So in marriage, family, kinship, it is a very different domain. If anybody is doing research on biological, there are millions of books we can read. Similarly, on political anthropology, economical anthropology, then religion, okay, then also language, culture, and also lot many theories. And in theories, you have a lot of segregations. So segregation are there, categorization are there, but it is all part of social cultural part. So similarly, in biological also, we do have a categories. Okay, but not like the life sciences. So we are only interested into which part, for example, okay, let me just explain this, okay. So paleontology, So paleontologists are also examining fossils. Okay. But how paleoanthropology? What paleoanthropology is doing? So we are also examining fossils. What are fossils? And most of the time we are very much interested in skeletons, like bones. Okay. So both are reading fossils. But what is the difference between paleontologists and paleoanthropologists? I am going to pick only those bones or fossils which are going to reflect me about human evolution. Any fossils evidences are going to be useful for me if it is having evolutionary characteristics. To to batao, to have understanding of human adaptations or the current Homo sapiens to understand its lineages. Now, it is not to say that if I am like, if I have got some fossils and if I have got the fossils of chimpanzees or this and that, I only am going to be interested in that. Paleoanthropologists do work like paleontologists, but yes, focus is on their focus is on to have understanding with respect to biological evolution, okay, of humans. So for us, if I am getting fossils of, let's just say, birds, it will be, I'm not that very much interested directly. Okay, definitely just to understand that, okay, let's just say during Miocene period, which type of organisms were there, just to have a full holistic understanding of human evolution. That is also part of my interest, but I would be not focusing more on it. समझ में आया? Right? So paleoanthropology is one of the fields. Then similarly, we have primatology. We do have a field for primatology. Here again, I am focusing on humans evolution. I'm focusing on humans evolution, so I'm going to be in connections. I'm going to make my connections with respect to primates, those who are enlightening me with respect to biological evolution. Okay, and only evolutionary characteristics is there in my research. Okay, so I'm not, yes, being primatologist or being biological anthropologist, I may be doing PhD in social behavior of primates. Then I'm going to compare it with humans. So I would be focusing on physical part, but my all focus will be on its behavior. The way we have Jane Goodall's work. ओके, यू कैन राइट डाउन जेन गुडाल. यूपीएससी ने डायरेक्ट जेन गुडाल्स के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछा है. शी इज नो मोर. Okay, then we have human genetics. Now we are human genetics. Now I am not going to deal deeply with human genetics. Okay, only those parts who is telling me superficial or like a macro explanation with respect to genetics. Okay, chromosomal abbreviation, pedigree analysis, genetic polymorphisms, and then the diseases and genetic markers. So not very deep. Similarly, write down forensic anthropology. For example, the DNA profiling supposed to have solution with respect to paternity disputes. That is a part of forensic anthropology also. And then we do a lot of DNA analysis with respect to investigate crime scenario, and then during natural disasters to have identification. So forensic anthropology. Okay, then you have serology. So again, it is helping us to know about genetic markers, right? And also about the diseases. Then you have dermatographics. It is also acting as like, identification. What is dermatographics? This ridges, this unique thumb pictures, prints, okay? Ridges. Then write down anthropometry. Anthropometry is measurements. So with the knowledge of anthropometry, we can exactly tell how different races are different, okay, physically. So their stature, their skin color, their hair type, their nose measurement, everything. Then you have craniometry. Craniometry, it's like proper understanding of the skull, okay. Even bioarchaeology also comes into that part, biomedical anthropology. You will can also write one definition for human genetics, because for 9.1 to 9.6 you do have genetics. So uska ek definition you people please write. Human genetics. Human genetics is the study of gene structure. Human genetics is the study of gene structure and action and the patterns of inheritance of traits from parents to offspring. और dermatographics का लिख दो, fingerprints pattern on palms, toes and soles. Okay, written? Fine. So these are little orientation towards it. So we'll deal with, first of all, with human's origin. Okay, so you people can give a little definition on it. Human's origin. Or you can write down life form's origin. Anything. Life, life's origin, any word. Origin of life. So we do have philosophers like Aristotle, Democritus, and Thales. लिखो इनका नाम. So we do have philosophers like Aristotle, okay, Thales, and Democritus, Democritus. Who have believed, who has believed that life has originated from non-living things in a spontaneous manner. So this theory is basically a part of pre-Darwinian phase. This is from your paper 1. This is from your paper 1, topic 1.4. Pre-Darwinian theory. Theory of spontaneous origin. इसका नाम ही यही है. Theory of spontaneous origin. So before Darwin, there were lot many biologists, scientists, philosophers who were keen to know how life has originated. Okay? So people believed on this, and there were lot many theories. For instance, there are theories which says that humans or life forms originated just like that, or humans की अगर बात करूँ, so there are theories which says that humans have got in this world after 6 days of creation, catastrophic creation. There are lot many theories. I would be giving you dictation on that, on pre-Darwinian theories. But spontaneous origin theory was actually largely accepted by scientists for a good period of time, but we know that it is not the fact. Although I would say it's a fact also, because if you will talk about the chemical reactions which happen in water, right? Pehle to it was, you are from bio. Tell me what was Haplin theory? Yeah, chemical evolution. So it is like, you have started from the water, and then you have, yeah, you have you have compounded material, then you have doubly compounded, then you get DNA, this and that. So it is actually kind of a thing which we can say chemical reaction ही हो रहा है. But yes, it was not accepted initially. Then later on we can say कि chemical reactions हुए थे. But spontaneous manner में इस तरीके से बताया नहीं जा रहा था. So you people can just write down few theories. So this we would be discussing in a very detailed manner. So there was a pre-Darwinian theory which was actually trying to understand how we have got life have got origin. So एक theory है theory of divine creation. Just write down the name, okay? Theory of divine creation. Sudres, okay? For example, Sudres has propounded this theory. They are telling about that what is written in the Genesis of Old Testament, okay? How God has created all living organisms, this and that. So that is what you people have to just write down. Okay, then theory of eternity. Okay, so the way divine creation, we have theory of eternity. You do have theory of eternity. A lot many theories. I'm just going to make you write all this part later on. Then write down theory of virus, cosmic origin. So before actually science, all were at that point of paradigm was telling us. Then likho catastrophism. Catastrophism. Then one more theory which we are going to discuss very deeply, that is Lamarckism. Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck, 1744 to 1829. Very important for us, Lamarckism. Okay. Earlier we used to get question, now we are not getting. So इस पे आप लिख सकते हो, write down. You can see he was a kind of first French biologist. Quickly इनके facts लिख लो. French biologist who recognized that life on Earth is the product of evolutionary change. तो ये कह सकते हैं he was the first one that life on Earth, okay, जो life है on Earth is the product of evolutionary change. इनकी थ्योरी को, his theory is also known as inheritance of acquired characters. Okay, now write down. His theory states that किसी ऑफिस वर्क को भेजिए. This theory states that modification. This theory states that, लिखते जाएंगे इसको. I have told you in the beginning only, biological anthropology में we are going to make quick अच्छे से notes. This theory states that modifications which the organisms acquires in adaptations. This theory states that modifications which the organism acquires in adaptation to the environments, गर्म पानी करके लिया ये, to the environments which it meets during its lifetime, लिख लिया. अच्छे से नोट्स बनाओ. आई एम नॉट इन हरी. are automatically transmitted to its next, ठीक है, descendants, and so become part of hereditary. Now write down. Lamarck proposed, कंटिन्यू करेंगे. Lamarck proposed these ideas. दो डिफरेंट लॉज बताए थे उन्होंने एक्चुअली as two different laws First of all, the law of use and disuse, which I would explain later on. Okay, the law of use and disuse. First of all, you keep on writing because I'm in flow, so I'm just giving you dictation. Okay, law of use and disuse. दूसरा, second, inheritance of acquired character. Now, according to first of all, ठीक है, पहला वाला explanation. So, according to Lamarck क्या है? You do not have to write. Just listen. According to Lamarck, what it is कि जो आपका living body, so your living body is influenced by the environmental factors. Okay, पहला point. So, Lamarckism is saying हमारा जो living body is influenced by पहला point environmental factors. ठीक है, clear है? Ultimately, that initiates an adaptation of organisms. Now, understand it with your current example. What is happening today in your environment? अभी अगर ठंड हो रही है तो आप क्या कर रहे हो? You are wearing clothes that is giving you warmth. Or for example, अगर oxygen level कम है तब क्या कर रहे हो? Then again you are adapting. So the point here is that if today we are adapting and adjusting ourselves to the environmental changes, it means that it has been the core requirement of all living organisms. So Lamarckism is actually philosophically, I mean, if you read his work, so philosophy ही है, वो biology so definitely facts है, but it's if you read their original books. So it is actually just simply telling you that during adaptations, what he has given the explain use and disuse. Okay, so for instance, if I am using my right hand more, so eventually what will happen? My right hand will become dominant, and if I'm not using my left hand. So it will be there, my right hand will be there, and my slowly and gradually my left hand will be diminished. Okay, although we know कि ऐसा नहीं हुआ, right? उन्होंने बहुत सारे examples दिए हैं, and the famous example is neck किसका? Right, giraffe का, ठीक है? So just wanted to prove his point, and he has given lot many examples. So it was simple. You can write down अगर explanation समझना है that if you are using something more, it will become more dominant, and if you're not going to use, it will become like weak, and then it is going to be not in use. So what will happen? बहुत weak हो जाएगा, आपके काम के लिए नहीं रहेगा, and then disuse. Okay, so Lamarckism ने पहले point में क्या argue करा है? If an organ is put to continuous inactivity, so it will go to its maximum potential, otherwise lead to degeneration. Very simple. Okay, और जब हम आगे पढ़ेंगे तब उसके बाद और समझ में आएगा. Now दूसरा part. Okay, acquired characteristics. Anyone? किसी को doubt use and disuse में? Okay, now ये आप लिख लो. Second का explanation I want you to write. Use and disuse का वाला का second. Evolution is the result of adaptation. Evolution is the result of adaptation of organisms to the environment. He was explaining this. जो भी adaptation करते हुए modification उन्होंने किया, okay, write down. Evolution is the result of adaptation of organisms to the environment. Modification produced during the lifetime of organisms become hereditary. During the lifetime of organisms, जो भी modification I am producing in my lifetime, it will become hereditary and will be inherited by the offspring. full stop. Thus, comma, the theory of inheritance, thus, comma, the theory of inheritance of acquired character states that all the modifications which the organism acquired during its lifetime in adaptation to the environment are automatically transmitted to the next generation and so become a part of heredity. So become a part of heredity, okay? And then he has given a lot of examples. We will discuss that later on, okay? We do not have to go that deeper. But Lamarckism was a accepted fact for a good period, okay? For a good period in the past, okay? Now, this, what is the relevance for this Lamarckism? Because this Lamarckism theory was further explained and taken by Darwin. ये point लिख लो. Although it is don't have any fact, but it has given some idea to Darwin. Now we will write Charles Darwin. Book name Origin of Species by means of natural selection. Just a moment. Definitely, Lamarckism theory now use its evolutionary ground, but Darwin have used it this ideas, and this is how any research comes. Okay, so Charles Darwin. So the work is 1859 में आया था. If I am not wrong, it was in 1859 only. और book का नाम था Origin of Species by means of natural selections. Okay. Side में लिख लो natural selection. So here we got really very famous tagline, survival of the fittest. Okay, although it is being claimed that it was not Charles Darwin who has given this survival of the fittest, it was Thomas Malthus, and survival of the fittest, this phrase was given by Herbert Spencer. Okay, but however, this line got popularized with the writings of Darwin only. So we do have Thomas Malthus, लिख लो आप. Thomas Malthus ऐसे भी आपको पढ़ना होगा in population theory. So he has also used survival of the fittest. This idea he has given. Darwin has also have taken it from Thomas Malthus. And then Herbert Spencer. Survival of the fittest. Now write down 5 principles of Darwin. Short लिख लेना, ठीक है, very short. 5 principles of Darwin. You people had class in the morning? I will give you a break after giving you 5 principles ka point, okay? But it will be a very short break. Pehla principles, please write down quickly 5 principles में. Organism produce more offspring than can possibly survive. Organisms produce more offspring than can possibly survive. Second point, organisms face a constant struggle to survive. Constant struggle to survive. The organism would always display variation. हाँ, मतलब वेरिएशन होगा ही होगा. Organism within a species vary, or variation is a part of living organisms. Fourth point, organism best adapted, suited to the environment will survive. जिसने best, any organism that is suitable for that particular organism will survive. And the last part, those organisms which are going to survive will reproduce, and it will be going to pass on from generation to generation. Then struggle for existence may be of different types. Struggle for existence may be of different types. पहला तो है intraspecific. पहले तो है intraspecific, the member of same species. How many of you know Karl Marx? Karl Marx theory is class struggle. Yes. So he has actually said have and have not. This is an art which you should learn. This is totally social part. Okay. So members of same species struggle among themselves for resources. This is even Karl Marx is saying, means of production जो भी resources पे fight करेगा. Entire class struggle is actually, you can say, influenced by the writings of Herbert Spencer, Charles Darwin, Malthus, ऐसे ही है सारी theory. तो दो टाइप का एग्जिस्टेंस हो जाएगा स्ट्रगल के लिए. एक तो होगा इंट्रास्पेसिफिक, ऑल ह्यूमंस आर कंपीटिंग. देन इंटरस्पेसिफिक, देखो द मेंबर्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्पीशीज. इंटरस्पेसिफिक, तो ये तो हो गया इंटरस्पेसिफिक वन. दूसरा हो जाएगा इंटरस्पेसिफिक. Just imagine if we do not in this world have herbivores and we only have sorry, carnivorous. We do not have any carnivorous. We have only herbivorous. Okay. All the living organisms or the animals who are sharing this earth with us and where we are living, let's just say terrestrial one, and they all are herbivorous. So what will be resulted? There will be no plants. Then we are not going to have food. We are not going to be survived. Why? Because why? Because we all are competing for the same resources. Is this clear? Are we not? So Radhika, Pratap, Nidhi, is this clear to you? What are we doing? We are competing for same species, sorry, same resources. So we will not have, we will have a lot of challenges. तो डार्विन का क्या पॉइंट है? डार्विन का सिर्फ सिंपल यही पॉइंट है कि वी विल बी हैविंग स्ट्रगल. Okay, so this is what you will see, and then later on I will be explaining, and he has not given actually proper explanation that why are we having the variation. He just simply said that variation is a what is the tendency of an organism, okay, to deviate from the parental generation. तो ये tendency है, आप अपने parents की तरह नहीं दिखोगे. Then survival of the fittest, हाँ natural selection लिख लो, natural selection side में. The surviving individuals will give rise to the next generation. The surviving individuals will give rise to the next generation, full stop. The successful variations are transmitted. The successful variations are transmitted to the succeeded to the succeeding generations, full stop. The accumulation of advantageous traits in future, accumulation of advantageous traits in future generation gradually brings changes in species, full stop. Successive generations in this way tend to become better adapted to their environment. The surviving individual give rise to the next generation. The successful variations are transmitted to the succeeded generations. The accumulation of advantageous traits in future generation gradually bring changes in species. Successive generations in this way tend to become better adapted to their environment. And he has given a lot of examples. एक तो उन्होंने famous beak का दिया था. Then write down industrial melanism. ये सब उन्होंने examples लिखा था. Will not get into it. How many of you are now getting clarity? Okay. So this is how. अभी after a break, I will explain modern synthesis. Okay, I'll give you a quick break because we don't have time. 1:50 तक का है. I'll give 5 to 7 का break. Okay, 5 to 7 minutes. Back. Please be back. क्लैरिटी है? ओके, आई वांटेड टू टेल यू समथिंग ना कि कुछ डिक्टेशन देना है. I said that is something I want to tell. हाँ, please write down one more part. Then I'll explain. Or shall I just explain the basics? Okay, New Darwinism I will explain later on. Okay, let me just read the books for you now. Now, when you go back home, you just read this chapter. Okay, first chapter. It is just telling about DNA wala part. You do not have to make any notes here. मैं notes बताऊंगी when you people have to make. Okay. Yes, you people can do just a little bit of research on what is DNA, what is RNA, deoxynucleic acid, okay? What is RNA? Little bit, but I will be explaining it more. Scope and biological anthropology, just read it once, okay? So you people do not have to make notes because I've already given explanation, okay? Paleoanthropology, just read it little bit, okay? यहाँ से कोई नोट्स नहीं बनाने हैं. थोड़ा बहुत फॉरेंसिक एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का बना सकते हो, बायो आर्कियोलॉजी का भी लिटिल बिट, बट इतना बेसिक्स तो यहाँ पे भी काम नहीं आएगा. आई विल एक्सप्लेन ऑल दिस पार्ट. ओके. Emergence of life on earth also, I think I have given explanation to this part also. Yeah, this is also I have little but given you explanation. Okay, do not have to make notes out of it also. Theories of organic evolution. Yes, this you people can write this particular definition from the book. ये आप लोग लिख लेंगे. You will see that I think several times I repeat complexity, simplicity to complexity, okay, so that you people can take it. Lamarckism I have given most of the important points, so do not have to get into it, but you should be knowing. Okay, for example, the book name you should be knowing. You never know, they can ask you in your prelims. Okay, philosophy, zoology. To read this, don't have to make notes at all on this part. Darwin's theory also, but yes, basics you should take. Okay, Galapagos Island, what happened, this and that, वो सब आप ले सकते हो. Okay, interspecific तो clear है. Examples whatsoever you people feel like, just make the pointers. Okay, simple pointers, because 1.4 we are not getting questions, 1.7 we are not getting questions, but ऐसा नहीं है कि यूपीएससी अभी पूछ नहीं रहा है. यूपीएससी you never know, they can ask you any time. इतना difficult है भी नहीं कि हम इसको छोड़ना तो हमको कुछ भी नहीं है. You would see that I am not going to leave any topic. In fact, there are a lot many topics I would be giving. Value addition मेरा काफी heavy रहता है, so don't worry about that. Okay. So I think we have covered till 88. Tomorrow I would be explaining New Darwinism. Now, so the class is now open for doubts. Any doubts, do let me know. Meanwhile, I am uploading the PPTs. Marinowski. ये क्लास हो रही है अभी, एंथ्रो की हो रही है, सोशो एंथ्रो की हो रही है अभी. व्हाट्स द टाइम? अभी तो 1:50 नहीं हुआ ना. सोशल कल्चरल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी बेसिक्स. ओके. एंड सोशल कल्चरल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी बेसिक्स दोनों ही एक ही. 27 के. हाँ, एनसीईआरटी बंद कर दीजिए.